All right. I want to give everybody a moment. Thank you, others, so much for your help. Um, I promise that by the time I am live with my channel, Wounds to Wisdom, I will have this down pat. Um, I'll be counting on Misha and a few others to help me get through this. I'm loving that I'm seeing some people pop in. So thank you, Brycey girl. Um, and I see Jimena. Thank you, Jimena. She's on right after me. And of course, um, thank you. I know Wounds to Wisdom is going to be such a great channel. Um, and I'm, I want to make sure that we do take a second, all of us, just to have an awareness that unfortunately for some people starting the new year, there was tragedy here in New Orleans. And so if you could just take a moment in your heart to send them love and light and compassion and the trauma that these folks went through. If you haven't had a chance to see the news, it was unnecessary. Someone's, you know, delusion of grandeur, because someone did this with a clear intention and they hurt a lot of people and they killed people. So I just want to send love and light out to those folks. Misha, in New Orleans, a guy in a truck mowed down a whole bunch of revelers around 3 o'clock this morning. And I believe last count, there were 10 that he killed and multiple people, bodies strewn everywhere that were injured. The perpetrator ended up being taken out. However, there were devices in his car. So there was definite intention of doing harm. And it's just so tragic. Because, here we are. We've been talking the last day and a half about starting this new year off with love and light and high vibration. And someone just sort of kicks us in the teeth and reminds us how fragile life is. And I think even yesterday, a little bit, I talked about even that person who is no longer on this earth will be embraced by love and light as he passes on, because something about that spirit really needs that extra dose of love and light. But man, what a poopy head. I don't want to curse because I don't really know how this all affects algorithms. But anyway, so I'm going to try to keep my eye on the chat. I have my cell phone here too. And one of the things that I wanted to share with you guys as I build my channel, I'm influenced by multiple teachers. And, we love you too, Misha. So yes, Brazzy, love and light to those people. Just prayers and the people that witnessed this, as well as were directly impacted. It just really sucks. And I hope that was the only horror of the year, or of that day. But so one of the things I wanted to talk about, and then I focus on, and then I want to continue to focus on, because I'm a student, I am not a master in any of this, are the 12 laws of the universe. And I do have my notes because I don't have any of these memorized. But the first law of the universe is called the law of divine oneness. What the heck does that mean? And they describe it as the interconnectedness of all things. So not just people, but things, right? We're all connected. The trees, the grass, the water, the animals of all kinds and shapes. The sun, the moon, the stars, the heavens, and the earth, we're all interconnected in some way. And the way to apply something like this interconnectedness, is to show compassion and acceptance. And how appropriate for today, right? And do it to those that don't understand. Show what love does. So we may not all understand clearly why someone is the way they are. We may not understand the choices that they make. But part of the law of divine oneness is to embrace that anyway and to show them, yes, we are all energy. Show them that we are love, and give them that compassion and that acceptance. It doesn't mean allow people to walk all over you, by the way, just so we're clear. This isn't all, kumbaya and let people just slap you around all the time, but it is to demonstrate compassion. And one of the things that I'm going to focus on in my channel is responding. How do you respond? And sometimes stepping back and not doing diddly squat is the best response. Maybe being thoughtful. Maybe if someone hurts your feelings or steps all over you, your first initial response is, what the hell were you thinking? Nope, step back. And the next day say, Theresa, I just want to say that in our conversation yesterday, you said something, or no, because you're not supposed to use the word you. What I heard was the following, and I was hurt by that. So that way you're not going, you did this to me and you did that. Because as soon as we go to that you, everybody builds their walls and steps back. So that's the first law of, yes, your action will affect their action. It's like cause and effect, action and reaction. All of these things are so interconnected. And that's one of those things that I think can create these time bombs, in people. We snap at each other. And again, this is a practice. So it's not something that I say and I do. It's like, what did our parents used to say? Do as I say, not as I do. It's something that we have to learn. And it's rehoning and reprogramming our brains. And so I really, this is my focus for 2025, is to really live the laws of the universe and trying to raise that vibration. So I'm going to talk about this ad nauseum, about raising our vibration. The second law is of vibration. So at the microscopic level, everything is in constant motion, vibrating at a specific frequency. Yes, I'm reading this, so just so you know. This applies to matter, but also one's personal frequency as well. This law says that our vibrational frequency can inform our lived experience. So, for example, you may receive money, but perhaps you can't hold on to it because vibrationally, you could be operating at a lower level. It's sometimes, what we may receive isn't always for our highest and greatest and best good. That's another thing that, when I send a prayer out, it's for your highest and greatest good. What I think might be for your highest and greatest good isn't necessarily what's right for you. So an example is when you hear someone is not well and you want to send them healing. Healing may not be what is in their best and highest good. What might be is for their higher self to receive that love that we're sending to them so that they can transition to their next journey. I personally, I often send love and light and healing if that is for your greatest and highest good. We all have lessons to learn. And sometimes it takes us time. Hi, makers, welcome. So how you apply this, if you feel the need to elevate your frequency, so good vibes, there are lots of practices to do this. Chakra work, and that's those elements within our body. There are our grounding spaces, if you will. We have the root chakra, we have the sacral, the solar, the heart, the throat, the third eye, and the crown. Each of these areas in our body are connected to various organs and light, and we hold energy within those spaces. When I do my meditation practice, my Reiki practice, and even hypnosis, because I am a certified hypnotist or hypnotherapist, what we do, hey Barb, is breathe into those chakras and release any of the toxins, any of the energy we're holding. You know, oftentimes, I don't know if any of you have done sound baths, you know, with singing bowls or crystal bowls. Hi Lacey, I love the singing bowls, but there is one that sends me into a tizzy. And I'm not sure if it's a C note or a G note. Certain notes in a singing bowl impact me or affect me, and I'm agitated. That means I'm holding something in that particular area. So when we do chakra work, when we do breathing techniques, when we tell you to breathe into your heart chakra or into your solar plexus, we really want you to release something that you're holding. And as energy workers, when our hands are going around your body, whether it's physical or I do a lot of Zoom or remote Reiki, the energy is the same. You can feel it from someone if you're connected with them. So raising the vibration, also even meditating or being out in nature. And we talked about this in Ben's channel this morning. Hearing the water, hearing sounds that can raise your vibration. So a lot of it is intention. The third law is, oh yes, so let me see what you said. Hold on. Sound frequency is huge. I love singing bowls. I have a horrible audio reaction to certain frequencies. 100%. So I wish I had thought about it ahead of time. I have some singing bowls, and I have this Tibetan bowl, which I absolutely love. I also have chimes, and it's a triangle chime, and you hit that thing and you put it over your head, and I swear by all that is holy, you feel like you are rising into the heavens. And I love that feeling. So there are sounds that raise your vibration, and there are sounds that if they impact you, there's something there that needs to be worked on. And Jimena, I love my Tibetan bowls. They're magical. And if you put water in some of your Tibetan bowls, it also brings a different vibration. Metal Tibetan bowls, meditation bowls, so amazing. And there are people that I know that do it live. There's a guy, Ben Carroll. He does the most amazing sound bowls and chanting. And when I say chanting, there is an om and a sound that comes from him that is from other worlds. I wish I could put it in there. If maybe somebody could Google him real quick. Ben, Ben, Carroll, and I believe it's Carroll. He is so incredible. I highly recommend him. I blend him in with some of my others, especially my other healing practices, especially when I'm feeling so anxious or uptight. I think it's so healing and therapeutic. One of the things that we talked about, yes, Barbie. One of the things that I've talked about is when there is this anxiety and we're trying to meditate, and I've heard this a lot on this channel and on other channels, I can't quiet my mind. I just can't be quiet. And this is what I do in my practice. This is what I'll do on my channel for folks in the guided meditation. Because you're all in a silent room by yourself, I'm going to ask you to close your eyes and hum. I want you to hum, chant, Om, you could say amen. It's the act of sound that your brain can't do two things at once. As I'm talking to you, really thinking about a grocery list isn't something that I can focus on, right? So by having that sound as you just begin to meditate, as you listen to someone's voice and the different volumes that they have in their voices as they're pulling you in and out, and sometimes they're really fast and sometimes it's really slow, 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 quiet and loud and quiet and loud. All of those keep your brain active enough so that eventually you'll go into peace and quiet and stillness and silence. And there are multiple ways to do meditation. There's no right way, there's no wrong way. And I really would encourage people to try many YouTube channels and or practitioners of meditation. I adore it. Good morning, Budflies. And I think I missed somebody. Oh, great. Thank you for putting Ben Carroll up there. I'm telling you, folks, I have no association with that person, but I really, really do enjoy him. And it is very healing. And I see that Lacey, when she was in the hospital, absolutely listened to singing bowls. I think, many people that are going through specific treatments, whether it's radiation treatments or chemo treatments or any kind of a treatment, listening to some kind of sound is so healing. And I would almost say that it raises you up to another plane if you can really allow yourself to go there. And I know people that actually say certain music does that. I don't always find certain music therapeutic that way, but it's going to come to me. I can picture the album cover. Hopefully before this live ends, I'll remember it. It's a version of classical music, but it brings me to a place that I just can't even explain. No words. So it's just tunes. It's just sound. It's just harmony. And Jimena was saying that she does energy cleansings, and the sound of a singing bowl helps break the negative energy. 100%. There's so many of us within this community that have this information and knowledge and love to share it, because how one might do it is different than another. Again, not better or worse, but it will resonate with some people. And it's amazing. So I think we're on the third law of the universe, which is the law of correspondence. And this law states that patterns repeat throughout the universe. And on a personal level, our reality is a mirror of what's happening inside us at that moment. Think as above, so below, as within, so without. Pretty cool, right? And how we apply that. If life is chaotic and fearful, it's because there is chaos and fear within. If our life seems calm and grounded, it is because we feel peace within. So ask in that situation of yourself, where is that fear? Where is that chaos within? And what can you do to alter that sense of chaos? So it's so much of what we see in the world. And I talked about this. I don't remember if it was in the first live that I did or if it was with one that I did with Ben and Christy, Conversations with Christy, in case anybody doesn't know her. you know, I believe each one of us, each one of you in this chat, anybody in the background, anybody on the replay crew, I believe is a light worker. If you offer any human being a modicum of kindness, you are a light worker because you brought light to someone. You brought one gleaming spark of joy. If you smile at a stranger, if you offer a hand to somebody, you are a light worker. We are also empaths. And I know that's a taboo subject for some people, but really it just means that you feel things. So for me, witnessing the trauma this morning in New Orleans, it makes me human. It makes me sad. As a practitioner and a healer, I have learned over the years to create that Glinda bubble around me, so that I don't absorb it all. But the old days, I absorbed all that sorrow and all that pain, all that trauma. And part of that was a reflection of me and my pain and my trauma that I was feeling. And it only resonated with me. I don't want to live there, and we shouldn't want to live in someone else's pain. So how do we look within? As above, so below. As within, so without. So I think that creating that mantra for ourselves, that reminder that sometimes we are impacted by other people. Is it something, when we get annoyed, is it something within ourselves? That is something that I will be focusing on personally a lot, because why is it that certain people that I'm associated with, they annoy me? There is just the mere conversation that someone starts, I want to just react, and not in a positive way. That person didn't do anything to me. What about that person, that energy of that person is impacting me? And is it coming within, or is it within? Is it something out, or is it something in? Let me just go to the comments for a second. Yeah, Barbie. So, and I know people say this all the time, ground yourself before you go into a room with people, especially if you are highly sensitive to the energies around you. And that takes huge, huge practice. And when there are parties that I'm invited to, I ask, oh, how lovely. Thank you for inviting me. Is it a large party? Are you having a lot of people? I try to be as lovely as possible. If there's more than 10 to 15 people, I can't go. So I know that about myself. I went to a couple of Christmas concerts this year, and because it was revolving around music and I wasn't going to be the center or a focus because I was participant witnessing, wasn't as much of a problem. If it's a social gathering, overload 100 times, and it is a huge practice that I have to back it up. And sometimes you will see in a crowded room, I'm over there, I'm watching, but I have to step back. So yes, that energy can be hugely impactful. So I'm just reading the comments. Sorry, I didn't mean to stop my thought. Yeah, it is the practice bubble. I mean, anybody that ever saw, The Wizard of Oz, I like Glinda myself and put myself in a bubble. It's the safest way for me. And I have to remember to do it. And even when I come on live, I have to remember to do it. And I also have to remember, and I literally do the act of wiping myself all the way down and releasing any energy I might be carrying that's cranky energy, and release it. I'm putting it out into the world. I'm giving it back to the universe to recycle it, to be of love and light. And then bubble myself, because it's so easy to take on that energy of other people. And so, yes, it is putting yourself in a bubble is something that, is a practice. Yes, Lacey, there are people that do that for you. And sometimes you just really need to breathe. So, hi, Shannon. So, all right, let's go to the fourth law of it's the law of attraction. Undoubtedly, the most talked about universal law because it's often used for manifesting, right? So it says that like attracts like, and you get what you focus on. Not only that, but you have to believe what you are seeking is possible to obtain. It's similar to the law of vibrations in a way, but it's important to learn how to vibrate at a level that attracts what you're seeking. So I used to say this when I was working with people that wanted promotions in a job, right? If you just want it for money and you're not doing the work, then you're not going to get promoted. And your attitude can be, oh, I'm being skipped over because she doesn't like me. No, has nothing to do with that. If you don't put the work in and you don't say to yourself, and this is something I'm doing every day before my YouTube channel goes live, I have to feel I'm worthy. If I go in and going, well, no one's going to like me, everybody's going to hate me, nobody's going to think I'm interesting. Okay, I just defeated myself. I just put myself back in that genie bottle and corked it. Take the damn cork out of the bottle. You are fabulous. And for those of you yesterday, when I couldn't remember that Saturday Night Live character, it was Stuart Smalley. And Stuart Smalley used to say, I'm worthy, I'm handsome, I'm good enough, and gosh darn it, people like me. We have to figure out how to boost ourselves. Not easy, by the way. It's always easier. I can boost somebody else's ego to be Mount Kilimanjaro. You will leave feeling as high as a kite and as happy, and you could go conquer the world. I get up and I'm like, oh my God, my hair is out of place. I got a zit. I don't look good. I'm ugly. I'm fat. I'm this. I'm that. No more words like that in 2025. We are fabulous. I am fabulous. I will find an audience. I am smart enough. I am worthy. I don't have to hear those other voices coming at me about what the hell are you doing going on YouTube? I don't need that. I don't need that discouragement. This is something I want to do. Before COVID, I was working with some practitioners. Her name will eventually come to me as well. But one of the things that she said to me was I should be on the speaking circuit because of my story. And a lot of you don't know it yet, and I'll save it for when my channel goes live. But I've had a lot of interesting bumps and bruises, as have every single one of you. And each one of us is writing our own book. Every chapter is either a day, a year, a month, a decade of your life. So you attract and you have information. And some of us have wisdom, and some of us can't find our way out of a paper bag. That's okay, because we're here to shine the light so you can get out of that paper bag. And that's what I've come to know. Then COVID hit. I had my heart event. And I've been trying to find a way to create connection without going to an office every day. That's not something that I'm capable of doing right now. But put out there what you want, and you have to want it. Don't say I want $1 million. That's not going to happen. Oh yeah, I really hope that 2025 I win the lottery. Well, A, did you buy the ticket? But B, take that $2 and put it in a jar. And maybe by the end of the year, you'll have some money. You might have better luck that way. But it's putting that out there. So that's the law of attraction. You put out what you want. You vibrate what you want. Just want to quickly check. So yes, hey Tiff, nice to see you. I hope I haven't missed anybody. I'm sort of yapping. All right, number 5, law of inspired action. This is defined as closely related to the law of attraction. The law of inspired action is all about taking those real, actionable steps to invite what we want into our lives. Often the inspiration comes from within. So inspired action is a gentle internal nudge. It's not always a plan of action. And so they say how to apply it is by practicing this law is about slowing down, getting quiet, and creating space for that internal guidance. When we let go of our need to arrange and control everything, we're open to more possibilities. And it makes room for us to achieve those goals. So that's in control. That's in conjunction with other things for sure. And oh, thank you, Misha. Let's see. Though I'd rather have time with my kids. That is more valuable to me than money. 100%. 100%. What's important to you? What's your personal goal? And I would encourage people, if you have a dream, and I don't care if it's spray painting on empty walls and creating your vision. I don't care what it is. As long as you're not harming another human being or animal, please don't mess with animals. I say go out there and do it. And don't let the voices say, well, that's not a job. That's not this. Do what's going to bring you love and light in your heart. And as you exude that love and light because you're doing what you want, holy crap. All right. So we are now on, I want to be mindful of the time because I don't want to be late for Jimena. All right. So number 6, the law of perpetual transmutation of energy. Say that 3 times fast. This law states that on an energetic level, everything in the universe is constantly evolving or fluctuating. Every action is preceded by a thought, with thoughts themselves having the power to eventually manifest our physical reality. So if you've ever been around a negative person or felt your own positivity sort of being sucked out of you, that's an example. But it can also work the other way around. Higher frequency transmutes lower ones when applied with intention. And they say how to apply this. We can actively seek to uplift negative energy around us by maintaining positive thoughts and actions. So that's one of the things that we talked about already, right? Not using that negative voice about yourself. Oh, I'm not really good at doing this. No, take that away. I'm asking for help on how to do this, right? So I haven't figured out how to do YouTube yet and go on Streamline and that kind of thing. Both Misha and Body Illusion, of course, helped me tremendously. So, my first thought was, you can't do this. You're not smart enough to do this. No, I just don't know how yet. Once I learn how to do it, I'll be able to do it. But it's changing the tune in our voices from, I'm not good enough, I'm not smart enough, I'm not whatever enough, to, how do I get to do this? I want to do this. So who can show me? Who can help me? How can I do this? And change that inner voice. Geez, I don't feel good today. You know what? I feel great today. I feel great. I'm going to take that Tylenol for the headache. I'm going to stretch my body and try to release some of the tension I'm feeling in my body and my heart. Whatever it is, it doesn't mean you don't feel well. I know people that are going through crap right now physically. Some of you in on these channels are not physically healthy. You're having some serious health challenges. So many of you are more positive than those of us that don't have aches and pains. So I really just want to encourage everybody to take that moment, even if you're feeling heavy and blue, and I have been, to say, no, there's always the sunshine beyond those clouds. There is something good out there. And so That's that law. That's what it means. All right, so that was law 6. Law 7. So important, this one. Law of cause and effect. This law highlights the direct relation between actions and events. What's important to note here is we often can't see the effects right away, but they will come around. Trust that every action will have a reaction, good or bad. And Brazzi already talked about this earlier. What you put out there may not come back to you at that moment, but that vibration, that energy you put out there has a ripple effect. If you're coming from a place of anger or resentment, if you put that energy out there, you'll eventually be affected as a result. So we absolutely, Jimena, need to be mindful of what we put out there. You know, some people have good intentions. Geez, Theresa, have you been exercising? You might want to start exercising. Have you thought about changing your diet? God, don't get fat. What are you getting fat? Oh my God. The reaction to that, the effect of what you say to another human being, you could throw them into a downward spiral so fast. Your words can hurt someone. My reaction, I was in a very engaged family, and where we were a loud, boisterous Italian family. Probably 90% of you here came from some kind of a family that you were engaged in, had conversations. Some were demure, some were no comments, but my family was very animated. The way of encouragement was, oh, don't get fat. Are you eating that? You're going to get fat. And there were other don't walk like that. Don't talk like that. Don't look like that. They were supposed to be words of encouragement. Those words hurt. So the effect of your words, you could bring somebody so high. As a manager, the way that I treated staff was how I wanted to be treated by my managers. So when someone wasn't doing something really well, I purposely found something they were good at. Anything. Oh my gosh, thank you so much for putting those papers in that pile so well and organizing it for me. So helpful. Can we focus in on this? And here's what I'd like you to do over here. Instead of saying that they did something wrong yet again, show somebody that they did something right. Doesn't matter what it is. I remember making chocolate chip cookies when I was a little girl. I loved to bake. I'm a huge baker. But when I was little and I was starting out, I didn't understand the difference between tablespoon and teaspoon. So any of you that have made chocolate chip cookies, if you put a tablespoon of baking soda in the cookie, it's not going to taste the same as a teaspoon. And I swear to God, I followed those damn instructions down to the letter, and I did. Except I didn't understand the difference between tablespoon and teaspoon. And there were two different reactions from the people that I wanted to impress the most. One was, it's a little salty. And, well, that was a good try. Let's try this again. And I think that it comes with encouragement and how we want to put out there the messages to people. You don't have to praise somebody if they're being a complete bonehead, right? You don't have to, but you also don't have to. You don't kick somebody down when they're down already. Raise them up. Raise them up. For some reason, Josh Groban is popping up in my head about raising up. I won't sing, but raise it up. So I think that there's a cause and effect in everything that we do, and that is one of the laws. The universal laws, and being aware and being considerate of other people is so critical, and also knowing your words. So sometimes we misspeak and we don't intend to, or sometimes we don't know someone's story, and And I think that we have to be careful. I do this. I misstep it sometimes when I speak. I never intend to hurt somebody. If I'm going to hurt you, you're going to know I intend to hurt you. And it's the unintentional hurts that I think that we have to be more concerned with. So let's see. Wow, Lacey, that's really amazing. I just want to go back to that. Hang on. Where's my mouse? Come on. I'm getting there. It's stuck at the moment. Lacey, you said you were raised to be mindful of those around you, and what you put in the universe comes back 3 to 10-fold. Absolutely. And I think that's so critical, really, for all of us. Let's see. Yep, Jimena said the same thing. We need to be mindful of people. And, I think this is a conversation that we could always have. And oh, thank you, Misha. I swear to God, I tried so hard as a little girl to cook well, bake well. I've stumbled. I've gotten better, a lot better. And now people ask for my cookies at Christmas. Okay, 8, because we're running out of time. The laws of compensation. The laws of compensation relate closely to the law of attraction and the law of correspondence. You reap what you sow is the main takeaway with that law, stating your efforts will always come back to you positively. If you are seeking something, you must contribute in some way toward your goal. So applying this, it says to work with this law in a manner that attracts or compensates love and support, for example, asking yourself, where am I being called to serve and support others today? How profound, right? How can I help someone else today? And that for me is, I used to be better at it prior to my mom passing. And I was very community oriented. And I was really focused on how could I serve someone else. Since then, and then since my health event, I have become more of a hermit and introverted. And that is something that I hope to work on. How can I serve somebody else today? How can I help somebody? And I think that is, again, a law of attraction, because if you put out positive energy, don't mean to put out, if you put out positivity, if you put out something to someone else, again, almost to what Lacey said, you get it back tenfold. So you don't always want to give with the intention of receiving, but that's just the natural order of things. If you give out love and kindness, you will get that back tenfold. If you give out compassion, you will get that back. For me, that's just, a benefit of this practice, I think. Okay, 9, the law of relativity. This law suggests that we are inclined to compare things in our world, but in reality, everything is neutral. Relativism exists in all things, and in the end, meaning comes down to our perspective and perception. Isn't that interesting? How to apply it? Applying this law can help us understand the tougher parts of our lives with greater compassion. For example, if we're feeling ungrateful for our living situation, it could be because we're comparing our arrangement to someone else's. Amen, hallelujah, I've done this, I do this. This has been one of the toughest lessons I've had to learn in the last couple of years. I'm always comparing myself to someone else. Well, why do they have it better? Why do they have this, that, and the other thing? Whoa, Nelly, back it off. They earned it. They manifested it. They worked at it. And it doesn't mean that my life sucks. It just means it's different. Yes, loss changes us. The realization of loss changes us. Remembering that each moment we have with every person in this world is temporary. and to be appreciative, to get it. And that's 100%. And I do think that we can both shine brightly, and I think we can share in that light of relativity. If we stop comparing, I mean, we've always, I think most of us have heard the saying, the grass is greener on the other side. And I've learned it isn't. I've learned that other families aren't better than mine. Sometimes what social media has done has promoted that, everybody's life is all sunshine and rainbows. And look at their parties, and they're going here and they're doing this and they're doing that. Behind the scenes, they all want to kill each other. So it's that comparison. And Facebook has been something that brought people together, but has also alienated people and made them bitter. I know when it first came out, I refused to be part of Facebook for the longest time. And I don't really comment a lot on Facebook. I promote other people's businesses and that kind of thing. But I will say that comparing yourself to somebody else isn't going to get you what you want and what you desire. So I love this law. 10, law of polarity. This law says that everything in life has an opposite: good and evil, love and fear, warmth and cold. The key is understanding these are all two sides of the same coin. All contrast brings more clarity. If you're facing a difficult situation, like a breakup or a health challenge, tune into what the opposite looks like, which can reveal a new perspective or lesson. That's interesting. And I think that we do lose sight of the polarities of things. So I know my time is clicking, so I want to kind of go quick because I don't want to bump into Jimena. The law of rhythm. Law 11. Cycles are a natural part of the universe. Physically, you can think about the seasons on Earth. In our own lives, we can remember that integration is just as important as growth. We expect ourselves to be one way all the time, whether we're thinking about our health or even productivity, but this is not sustainable. So to apply it, take note of your inner rhythms and try to work with them instead of fighting them. If you're feeling run down, maybe it's better to give yourself some rest instead of powering through. And the last law, law of gender. The law of gender has to do with the masculine and feminine energies that exist in all things. Much of our society has historically operated from a masculine hustle and do mentality, which does not allow for much room to just be. How to apply it? Achieve your own balance between the divine masculine and the divine feminine energies in order to live more authentically. So I'll be spending some time on my channel talking about this. But I think that, what we can do as a community and for each other is to just take one of the laws and let that be. I mean, there's 12 months in a year, right? Take a law a month, one of the universal laws, and have that be your focus. And it doesn't have to go in any particular order. When I have my channel, I'll put the link to where I got my information, but you could obviously Google the 12 laws of the universe. And there are a couple of really great books. If you've ever been interested, The Four Agreements by Don Miguel. Oh my God, Don Miguel. I drew a blank on his name. I can't believe this. Well, I'll put that in a link too. Ruiz, Don Miguel Ruiz. They're really simple, but impactful. So thank you, Cheryl. Yes. Boop. But I know I only have 5 minutes, and I just want to sum this up by saying that, I really enjoy this community. I've watched most of your channels already, and look forward to being part of the community. Um, Wounds to Wisdom is a channel that'll be starting hopefully next week. I'm working with somebody, and I'm hoping that we get it set up. I know Misha has offered, but she needs a little bit of a break. I want her to get some rest. And I really have enjoyed both Christmas and New Year's being here with you guys. It's given me confidence um, to be able to do this, something that I really want to be part of. So thank you so much. And I hope that this coming year is filled with blessings, um, compassion, love, and friendship. So I think I have a couple of minutes, and then Jimena's going to take over. Oh, thank you. Thank you guys so much. I really mean this from the bottom of my heart. All right, I'm going to sign off so that everybody can go to Jimena's channel. And I think they put it out there already, if I'm not mistaken. So I'll see you guys over there. Blessings to everybody.